Hey guys, RC here, back with episode 2 of our Journeyman save. Well, as I mentioned last video in the introduction, we were forced to turn down several interviews just to get the interview with Mathatha, and then they didn't hire me, those bastards. So anyway, you can see we're into May now. Now, luckily, a lot of these leagues don't start until later in the year. Hey, cat. So we've been progressing along, and I got an interview with Ubuntu Cape Town. All right, well, Cape Town, I know that's probably down in, it is in South Africa. And we took a look at them. So let's go take a look at the team real quick. And the South African National First Division. And they are picked in the preseason to finish 13th. So just barely avoiding relegation. So anything up towards mid-table, and I'll be like a new national hero for them. A little behind Mathatha Bucks, who was the club that I really wanted to get. But now I can stick it to the Mathatha Bucks. Just, Fist City. And no kissing beforehand because, they made me mad by doing that. So anyway, we've interviewed. The only promise I made to them was to avoid relegation. And I agreed to sign young players for the first team, because that was the vision of the chairman, and I don't mind doing that. I like signing and playing young players, so I went ahead with that, and they're offering me 425 or 42,500 pounds dollars per year, and it'll be a 1-year contract. Can I get it to 45? Can we just round it off? Maybe. And how about a clause? Bonus? No. I was trying to see if there was anything I could do for coaching badge, or if we do finish mid-table, I could get a bonus. But let me suggest terms. Oh, they're acceptable. So $45,000 a year. Do I have a job? I think I have a job. I've never seen them turn that down. Oh my God, I have a job. Yay. All right, so we are at Cape Town. I'll attend that meeting off camera. So let's go take a look at these guys. So they are professional. We can pay players. Insecure. That's a concern. Let's see, finances and debt. They don't have any loans, but we do have debt. We're 246,780 in the hole, and we are currently spending about 360,000 above our budget. So we're probably going to have to sell some players, which is okay. If we can sell them, that's the problem. We don't have any transfer budget. We do have some scouting budget. Let's take a look at the squad. Actually, let's take a look at the club and our key player. Do we know anything about him now? Oh, here we go. All right, so he can play a winger. There we go. So I might have to play with a winger here. Or, yeah, if we play a 4-4-1-1, I could play him in the mid. Good crossing, good dribbling, first touch, passing, technique, work rate, determination. All right, I kind of like him. He actually looks like a real player. That is positive. Let me just, okay, who's picked to finish first? Highlands Park, and their key player. All right, so just, okay, similar thing, a winger. 13 to 18, 9 to 14, 13 to 18. All right, so if he's on the high end of that scale, naturally he's going to be much better than my best player. If he's towards the low end, then they're about the same. All right, I can live with that. Actually, how old was this guy? 33. Yeah, I might have to sell him. Welcome. You're out of here. All right, so I need to get in. I need to look at the club. I need to go through the meeting and all the other things that we need to do. When does the 8/19? All right, so we're about 3 months away from starting the season, right? Okay. South American Cup. I do want to go in and look at the rules here just to have a rough idea. 16 teams, 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw, so nothing different there. 30 matches, round robin. We play each other twice. No more than 3 foreign players, okay. Players signed on a free transfer can be registered at any time. There must be 3 under 23 in your starting 11. Wow, okay. 7 subs, 3 U's, that's standard. Only registered players are eligible to play. No trialists can play in matches. Maximum of 5 foreign players can be registered. The match squad. So you can only have 3 on your game day roster, but you could have 5, so that way you could rotate around. Okay, so you could have 3 starters and 2 coming off the bench. Players can be registered July to August, so we're still 2 months away from registering. And then a second registration window at the beginning of the year in January. Goal difference and goals scored is the sorting rules. Not playing for a bunch of money. The top team goes to the South American Premier. There's a mini playoff, and the bottom 2 teams are relegated. And we'll figure this stuff out. Transfer window, that's not until July to August, so a 2-month transfer window, and then a second 1-month transfer window. $9,500 minimum salary for full-time players, okay. 40% of international appearance in recent matches. What does that mean? All right. Oh, without a current permit, they have to have 40% of international appearances. With a permit, 70% of teams' first team games. Players with good potential are up for appeal. And contract renewals, you have to have played in 75% of the first team games for work permit. All right, work permit throws me off. I have no idea how that works. We'll figure it out, I hope. All right, so that's our club. So what I'm going to do now is we're a couple of months away from the season. I'm going to start kind of looking at my team, start working on some tactics. One of the things I'm going to do with this save in particular is I am not going to use any downloaded tactics. So that is, I'm going to have to create every tactic I play with in this one. My lead save, I do have some downloaded tactics that I'm working around. But anyway, let's get off to the races here in Cape Town. Franklin Kale is actually a pretty good player. He can play left mid in my 4-4-1-1, and if I decide to go with wingers, which none of my 3 that I'm looking at right now are going to have. But anyway, he's 34 and he's on $115,000 a year, so I've kind of already put him on the transfer list because the finances are shit. They're 331,000 in the hole to start the year. My first month, we've actually turned a profit of about $55,000, $52,000. So a slight uptick, but they have come in and they have cut my, you can see our payroll, we're significantly over their budget. And I've signed a few players to make that a little worse, but when I took over, they were over $1 million, almost 1.1 million, I think. So yeah, they were losing money hand over fist. Anyway, I know one of the things I like in Journeyman series is kind of bringing some real life spectacle to it. I'm not going to do anything on camera. You know, I don't even have a camera, a webcam to do any of that. And you know what? First off, you don't want to see my ugly face. And two, I'm not that good at acting, so I'm not going to try. And three, other people are doing that better than I ever could, so why try to copy them? I'm going to mainly play the games, and I'll do a couple of new things with this. So let's get into the internet. Love using the internet, finding out things. They have a very nice stadium. Look at our stadium. That is insane. That is a great stadium for a lower league. It's a 34,000 seat stadium. That's beautiful. That's nice. I'm highly impressed. Anyway, doing a little background search, the club is owned by Michael Jenkins and Casey Prince. So hey, shout out to you guys. I don't know if you'll see this, but hey, maybe, whatever. So they evidently are football fanatics, and this is a brand new club. What they did is these two guys went out and bought the rights to FC Cape Town. They bought the status for the National First Division from FC Cape Town, who is now defunct, I guess, and Ubuntu Cape Town has picked up, just taken their place, basically. So they're a brand new club. So when I took over the club, they had a list of players, but not a single player was under contract. So I had to go in and start making contract offers. And, you know, even this is typical lower league management. You can have players that are not under contract, but you still have to pay them, I guess. So anyway, they were paying a lot of money, but we had a whole smorgasbord of players that were not getting, you know, not under contract. So we extended contracts because we were starting to get poached pretty much right off the bat for some of our best players. And it looks like the club name is the African Beasts. So that's awesome. I am liking that name a lot. So anyway, you can see they started real life with 14 players, 6 defenders, and 5 mids. And they play at Athlone Stadium instead of the NNK Stadium. But that's a hella nice stadium, isn't it? Wow. Anyway, moving on. All right, so I know where Cape Town is. I've kind of looked it up on the map, and it's right at the southern, you know, it's way down at the southern tip of South Africa near Cape Horn. So that was cool. So what did we learn? Well, here's what we learned about going through Wikipedia. Again, I let my fingers do the walking. So they're starting this year. They purchased the franchise license, so that's cool. They play in Athlone Stadium, not to be confused with Athlone Town Stadium. That's the Hick Stadium on the other side of the tracks, evidently. But it is the home ground of Santos Cape Town, and it's a 34,000 seat stadium. Very nice. It was upgraded to lead up to the 2010 World Cup and cost 297 million reals. Is that right? I think that's right. That's what the R stands for. That's the monetary unit, and we'll get into that. So taking a look, it's a suburb of Cape Town, Athlone, and so there's a picture of the city. Pretty nice. See some traffic over here. All right, you know, and here I'm an American. I've been out of the country just a little bit, never been to Africa, so this is cool. I didn't know what to expect, so and I'll claim ignorance and stupidity. So let's see, 11,556 households, 45,000 people in the suburb. I don't care about the racial makeup because it don't matter. Yeah, so anyway, let's see, moving on. All right, we don't need to see that. Oh, I did find out that I'm making $32,500 US dollars after taxes, which is the equivalent of 446,734 reals. So, monetary comparison. I know 32.5 in America is a pretty reasonable, annual income, depending on what you do. But, for a job with a college degree, that's actually a pretty good salary. So, I feel good actually getting a start at that salary. And it seems, I can say, hey, I make almost $500,000 a year. It really sounds good, even though it's, So anyway, 1 real is the equivalent of about 7 cents in American dollars, in American money. So I took that and we went hunting for a place to stay. So I found the map here. So Athlone Stadium is right up here. And there is a suburb called Wenberg. I hope it's a nice part of town. I didn't call the police or anything to check on the crime rates or anything. So anyway, but it's over here near this national park. So it looks kind of in a nice area. There's a park for kids right down the road. And I found, I'm going to be over there by myself. My wife and kids aren't going to come with me. So I found a 1-bedroom flat in Wenberg. And we can buy it for 349,000 reals. So basically I can pay for it in 1 year. Or 2 years. I can spread it out over 2 years. So, I've taken out a small mortgage here. It's got, typical 1-bedroom apartment. Definitely a downside. Ooh, hello. Might want to throw some paint on the wall, but, it is what it is. Shower. I did make sure the shower works. So we've got dryer, little kitchenette area here. Basically an all-in-one. And, that's fine. It actually looks like one of my rooms in RimWorld or something. So, not too bad. It wasn't the cheapest place, but, I didn't see the need to go up high. So you can see I've already made an offer on it. Hopefully I'm waiting on a call back. Hopefully they accept it, and we'll see what goes. I actually made an offer at 342.5. See if I could save a little bit of money. I'm always bargain hunting, I'll be bargain hunting for players, everything else. So that's where we're hopefully going to live. And as you can see, it's only about a 16-minute drive in either direction. I've got a couple of different routes that I can take. So yeah, pretty happy. So I started looking for cars, and this was the first one that I saw, and I went, that's really nice. Have no idea, how much it's going to cost. I'm willing to bet it's probably just a little more than I can afford. So, instead of going with my heart on this, I tried to use my brain, the one in my head. And I found this. The club did tell me I'd probably have to, maybe move a couple of players around with me, probably bring the sack of balls and cones and whatnot. So I found this little 4-door, make it easy for the players to get in and out of. Little storage in the back. So that's... so not too bad. It's got some good leg room for the boys. I wanted to be able to stretch out a little bit. Only 25,000 reals, so I got enough to afford that. It did have, this was significantly lower mileage than a lot of cars that were there. A lot of them had, 400, 500, 600,000 kilometers. I'm like, holy crap, they're making cars better in South Africa than they are in America, because you aren't getting 100,000 miles out of a car these days very often. Anyway, I liked the fact that it had the full service history from the franchise. 2-owner car. I was looking for a 1-owner, but that's okay. Front wheel drive. It is manual, and that's all right. I can drive a stick. So yeah, so that's going to be our vehicle. at least while we're down here, I figure both of these are going to be easy to sell, once I move on. And hey, maybe the club will buy them from me and they'll just use them as for the managers down the road. So anyway, no Lamborghini for us. We're going to be driving a Toyota. That's cool. We'll be living in Wenberg in a little one-bedroom flat. Probably won't be spending a lot of time there, but hey, we will give it a go. All right, so back to the game. We'll come back. We'll look at the squad in a little more depth. The board's already under 50% with me, and I haven't done anything. Their biggest concern is the mood of the players, and I think what happened was, you can see no unhappy players, but I'm failing to have a positive influence. So this dynamics is a little hard because there's really nothing to do outside of team meetings, and I'm not going to, we haven't really played anything, so I'm not going to find the players. I think the biggest thing was Kale, the highly influential player. He was very unhappy with me transfer listing him, and I said, look, man, you make $115,000 a year, that would pay for my car basically, right? So, I need to get rid of some higher salaries. Not dead weight because he's a good player. He's got good ratings and everything. So, it just is what it is. So, we're going to have to move some players. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I've put my top 3 wage earners on the blocks, and I've reduced the amount each time, and I've reduced it all the way down to 0. Still can't move any of them. So it may be later in the season, maybe the next transfer window, that we can move one of them. But also in setting up some of my friendlies where I'm used to being able to schedule clubs to make money, only one of the teams that I was able to schedule a friendly with was going to pay me any type of net earnings. There were 2 clubs that I looked at that were going to cost me more. It would cost me like $13,000 to book the match, and I'd only make like $8,000 in earnings. And I went, well, I don't want to spend, all that extra money. I'm trying to be fiscally responsible, guys, and just letting the owners know if they watch this, hey, I'm trying to be fiscally responsible, but I stepped into this. So, we're going to try to fix it and work within the constraints. Hopefully they've got deep pockets, and here in the first season can keep the club afloat until I can get some of these contracts weeded out. And yeah, I kind of screwed up by throwing money at my better players. I probably should have just let them play for free and let them walk. But, I want to try to get on the field. Let's see, the expectations are the summary. We want to avoid relegation. Yeah, you see it's the locker room. That's really the only thing dragging me down. But, we're only playing for avoiding relegation. And right now we are picked 13th, 90-1. So that's, we were supposed to barely squeak out a relegation as it is. Richards Bay, I would have liked, I was going to interview with them, if you remember from the first episode, but they were down around 7th, and Mathatha Bucks was around 9th or 10th. 10th, I think. They were originally 30-1. So they haven't been impressed with my signings. I'm not going to go into those yet because we haven't reached the start of the season. We're still in friendlies. But anyway, wanted to let you guys know we do have a job. We are working towards the season. And, of course, I do have my other save with Leeds United going on. And today I put up the last episode for Season 1. We got promoted from the Championship to the Premier. I will give you a sneak preview. Not off to a good start in the Premier. Not at all. But anyway, we're going to give it a shot here in South Africa with the Ubuntu Cape Town African Beasts. Is that right? Did I get that right? Somebody let me know if I got that right. I think that's what it said on the internet. I forgot already. But anyway, thanks for checking out the episode. I hope you're looking forward to our first season in South Africa. And there are a couple of rules, but we'll go over those when we get into the first match. So we'll see you guys in the next episode where we'll actually get to playing some soccer. Take care. Bye.